Hey, so you're going to Japan, land of the rising sun? Well, I'm super excited for you, and let's talk about one of the hottest topics when traveling in Japan, the JR Pass. Well, I just came back from Japan with my family, including my toddler, and used the JR Pass, and I wanted to share the love and all the details to all the tourists out there in the world. Well, I'm going to be covering everything I can think of, including what it is, how to use it, and whether or not it's actually worth it. Now, let's first start with what is the JR Pass. Well, the JR Pass is actually a ticket that allows you to ride unlimited trains on the Japan Railways network for a set period of time. Popular ones are 7 days, 14 days, and 21 days. And yes, Japan Railways operates most of the famous Shinkansen, which is the bullet train, as well as many local trains and buses. So it's a great way for tourists like you and me to save money for the extra sushis and wagyu beef that you're craving for, especially if you're planning on doing a lot of traveling around the country. Popular routes that people use the JR Pass includes the Golden Route of Tokyo, Kyoto, and Osaka. And you can also make the most of the JR Pass with pit stops along this journey in places like Nara, Hiroshima, Miyajima, and Kobe as well. Now that you know what the JR Pass is, one of the most asked questions is whether the JR Pass is actually worth it. As a tourist to Japan myself, JR Pass should only even be considered if at least two of these things are in your plan. Number one, you're planning on traveling to various cities like Kyoto and Osaka using the bullet train, which is a Shinkansen. And two, you're planning on staying and traveling in Japan for at least 1 to 2 weeks there. For example, if you're planning to be in Japan for about a week, which makes sense, but will only be traveling within Tokyo and perhaps a small town like Hakone, then JR Pass wouldn't be worth it for you. You're actually better off buying normal train tickets for that, which will be a lot cheaper. So this means that whether or not the JR Pass is worth it for you actually depends on your travel plans. And I would actually use the online calculator to actually help you do the heavy lifting. One of the ones that I like is www.japan-guide.com/railpass. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're going to be in Japan for 7 days and you're planning on taking the Shinkansen bullet train from Tokyo to Kyoto and Osaka with day trips in places like Nara and Hakone. Then the JR Pass will save you a reasonable amount of about $30 to $50 per person. Now, one tip here is that if you have decided on how long you'll be staying in Japan, but still wondering, what should I do? Where should I go? While you can still use AI trip planners that's available today as part of your initial guidance, I've actually found the TripAdvisor communities in Japan forum to be extremely helpful. Now, if you have decided that JR Pass is worth it for you, then you also want to know about how to buy and use the JR Pass as well. Let me explain. First, I would highly recommend for you to buy the JR Pass before you arrive in Japan because it's cheaper and more convenient. I've included some links below this video where you can buy one right now. Now, once you buy the JR Pass, an exchange voucher will usually be mailed to your home address from the vendor you bought it from. You need this physical voucher to exchange it in Japan. Now, once you're in Japan, you need to take this exchange voucher to exchange it for a physical pass at a JR ticket office in Japan together with your passport. Do not forget your passport. Now, there are JR Pass offices in major airports such as Haneda and Narita airports and train stations all over Japan. Now, when you exchange for the physical JR Pass, you'll actually be asked about when you would want to activate your JR Pass, which is the very first day you would want to start using that JR Pass. For example, if you have bought a 7-day JR Pass and you specify that the 1st of April is the activation date of your JR Pass, then your last day of your JR Pass will be on the 7th of April. Speaking from my experience as a tourist, once you have activated your JR Pass with planned travel dates in the future, I would highly recommend for you to go straight to any of the ticketing machines at the train stations and book your seats for the date you're traveling in advance. This is because of 3 main reasons. Reason number 1, peak season. Seat reservations are especially recommended during 3 peak seasons in Japan to ensure that you have seats that you would want. Reason number 2, if you're traveling with large luggages, be sure to only book front seats or back seats of the train cars that have special storage for large luggages, because if you haven't booked one, you cannot put your large luggages there, and you actually be asked to pay the extra fees to store your large luggages at the entrances of the train cars, and we have seen this happen before. Reason number 3, premium seatings. If you bought premium seatings in a green car of the bullet trains and you never booked your seats, you may be transferred to the standard cars if the premium cars are actually full. Speaking of premium seats in a green car, you must be wondering what are the different JR Pass classes you can buy in. Well, there are actually 2 types. One is the standard pass, and then 2 is the green pass. While the standard pass allows you to sit in the standard cars of the bullet trains or Shinkansen, which is already quite comfortable, green pass allows you to travel in the more luxurious green cars, which have wider seats, more leg rooms, and usually with more peace and quiet. Note that the JR Green Pass is about 30% more expensive than the standard JR Pass, but it can be well worth the experience with the extra spaces and comfort while riding on the bullet trains between cities, and especially if you're on a holiday with your family like we were. So if you're on a holiday with your family, especially with kids like we did, I would definitely pay that extra 30% to ensure 100% comfort for everyone in your family. Since I mentioned about traveling with kids, let's talk about how JR passes work when you have kids traveling with you. Parents, you'll be glad to know that kids who are newborn all the way to 5 years old do not need a JR Pass. It's free! Which also means that they won't actually have their own seats, but you can comfortably seat your kids on your lap or in your seat with you. Or if the train is not full, then in a free seat next to you as well. Meanwhile, kids ages 6 to 11 can get a JR Pass for half the price, while kids who are 12 years and older will need to buy an adult ticket. Hey everyone, thank you for making it this far, and you can see the JR Pass is a great way to save money and a convenient option for train travels in Japan. And if you are planning to be in Japan for at least a week and visiting multiple cities, the JR Pass is definitely worth considering. So whether or not the JR Pass is worth it depends on your travel plans. So I would first finalize the places you want to go and then use a JR Pass calculator to see if this will be worth it for you. I hope this video has helped you learn more about the JR Pass and how it can benefit your trip to Japan. And more importantly, I hope you enjoy your time in Japan. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more amazing videos to come. See you next time, and thanks for watching.